It's like I remember the first spool that I saw on the rear end. And I remember looking at it and I thought, spool, that's a pretty good name because it does look like a spool of thread, you know. And I thought, well, what's that thing do? And the guy told me, he says, well, it really, imagine it disconnects all the way through. I said, well, what about when you go around a turn? And he said, you don't make many turns with this. He said, because this wheel wants to go as fast as that one wants to go as fast as this one. And he said, you get that little around the corner. And he said, let me show you. So he was going to push the car, and he pushed it, and it just pushed real easy. And he turned the steering wheel, it was like, dang. You know, because, well, you can't push it. Well, you can, but it's real hard to push. And then that was because a lot of them up to then, if you broke an axle, you could still do the same, not breaking an axle. Or if the PT unit in there went bad, you was immediately left or right. And so, but there's advancements as it comes all along, you know, and then you have people like the headers, you know, Stahl, this guy Stahl built this one unique set of headers. It had like as the gases exited the head, it went out, and then it all of a sudden the pipe flared, and his was that it would evacuate the chamber a lot, and it probably did, you know, it's like a Venturi effect. As it's forced out, then it got real big, it pulled more of the gas out.
Yeah, so like each header was pulling the other, was forcing the air out.
Stahl headers, but you think back on some of that stuff, when it came out, think, wow, and then hooker headers and all of the, and each one kind of copied the other, and then they had the equal length headers and all of the.
Well, even like when turbos first started becoming things, they were like big bulky units that took forever to get to spool up, and you know, people would struggle with them. You have a small block with a big turbo, and you're fighting that thing to get up. Yeah, they kind of, you know, they're kind of were, I guess, patterning a little after a diesel turbo, which there's a big difference on it. But you know, if it works on the diesel, it's got to work on the gas. Not necessarily, and it just. Yeah, I remember some of them days. Yeah, because like when the Grand National came out, the GNX, it was like eye-opening for everyone, and now those cars are so sought after.
And I remember I bought a Grand National new, and bought it over in Orlando, and the guy said, I'd sell you that one over there, but said it's already asked for, and it was a GNX. And I said, well, what's the difference? And he said, well, that thing's got a ceramic impeller in it. And I said, really? I don't know what he's talking about. I said, okay, good. Yeah, that's great. I like that. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Sounds good.
He said, it's not like yours over there. I said, well, okay, that's good. He said, they're not going to make many of these, you know, the X. And he said, you know, here's something unique about it. You have to own one of these to buy parts for them. And I said, really? And he said, well, like body parts, you know. Okay, I'll trust you're telling me the truth there on the thing. I don't know, I guess for a while it was. I don't know, you couldn't buy, because, you know, people was going to make a clone out of one. You know,
yeah, you buy a regular Grand National.
And buy the parts for it. But
cheater it up a little bit, make yourself look cool.
Yeah.
Well, because they were faster than the Corvettes at the time, which was the whole thing that everybody...
Oh, and you know, GM, they've done that through the years. They had the Cyclone, and it was at the time faster than the Corvette, so they just done it for a little while because you can't do the flagship under. And then had the Buicks, and of course they said, oh, we got to stop that too. And I guess they wanted the Corvette to be that, but some of them Corvettes were slow. Oh, they were dogs.
I was going to say, it sounds like
Corvette guys. I got one too, but I'm telling you, this for a while they were dogs.
It's actually interesting to think that the Corvette probably stifled a lot of GM's growth. They could have made so much better of cars, but they were actually having to slow down some of the better engineering teams because of their flagship.
Them little Cyclones and stuff that they had those things, it was a 4.3, you know, it was a V8, but V6, just a V8 with two back cylinders gone, with a turbo. Them things were so fast, and it's all-wheel drive. And I think the claim was that it ran within a tenth or so on a wet track of what it did on a dry track, you know, with all-wheel drive on. And they were fast. They were real fast.
Well, there was the two. There was the S10 based, and then there was the Blazer.
Yeah, they had a Cyclone and a Typhoon.
Typhoon, that's what it was. Yeah,
Blazer type based on it, and they were pretty darn fast. And then I guess maybe someone in Corvette got to howling about it, and it's like, hey, we got to stop that.
Well, all-wheel drive wasn't really common at the time either.
No, and you know
especially performance.
The all-wheel drive was taken out of there was something in the Oldsmobile line that had an all-wheel drive. One of them had an all-wheel drive. And it was like I think it was a 65-35, 65 rear, 35 front. And that was the one I'm pretty sure that they put into those. And boy, they did do good. Wow. But the thing in all-wheel drive, man, it was...
Guys, thank you for tuning in to the Bogetti Clips YouTube channel. For the full podcast, check us out on Bogetti Studios YouTube and all your audio platforms. Also, hit that subscribe button to not miss out on any of the new Bogetti clips coming up.